Hey guys, the Fly Young Gentleman here, and I'm bringing you a commentary. And I'm thinking about a new series, And so tell me how you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like, you can comment, stuff like that. Anyways, so it's just kind of like random life tips about technology, and I can do other things too. But technology is a very easy, not very controversial one that I can get done. And I'm sure a lot of you care about as well. So let me give you a little bit of a story and the reason why I want to make this video, right? So today, I call my local ISP Comcast. Now I am the internet says at least, and amongst my friends, I am a golden child because Comcast is very cooperative with me and very nice to me. And I get along with them and they really don't bone me very much. They mostly do good things with me. And I recently did some extensive testing into my internet and found out that I wasn't quite getting the advertised speeds and whatever speedtest.net told me I had, right? So what I did is I ran some tests, and I was actually getting anywhere from between 30 and 35 megabytes per second, and my upload was anywhere from 1 to 5. That's bad. I pay for 50, but I get roughly 58, says speedtest.net, by 10, or on speedtest.net like 12. Now I do get those speeds, but not always. And yes, I am actually aware of how internet works. I know that it also depends on the server and how much data they're allowing you or sending to you, and there's lots of other factors in there. But what I was testing it with was this raw input what I was getting, and it was pretty good. But it definitely wasn't what I was paying for. So I called them, and then I was trying to be really nice, and I was being nice. Everyone was cooperative, and they say they're going to credit my account and send a technician to me, right? And I told them, I said, a technician isn't going to do anything. It's on you guys then. And they just kept really trying to avoid it, and they're trying to say, okay, send a technician. So I said, okay, you know what, whatever, I'll let a technician come. Not to mention that 3 of them haven't come in the last 3 times I tried to have one come out, and none of them showed up. So they're supposed to be coming on Thursday. So hopefully we can come to a resolution, and hopefully the guy knows that I'm not an idiot. And I'll let him know I'm not an idiot. Because I do have a wide variety of knowledge when it comes to these topics, and I'll tell him, and I know what it is, and can you please do this and that for me, and hopefully that they will cooperate, and I won't have to go move to buttfuck nowhere, Kansas, to get Google Fiber. But my tip for you guys, and shout outs to my boy Lefty over there. He made a video and about what to do to get your internet kind of up, and then when you call. Now this is my way to do it. It's very similar, but it has its differences. Now, here's the thing for me, right? It's the same thing Lefty said, and this is what I always say: do not yell at the first guy. Don't yell at the first guy. Never. It's not going to get you anything. Always be nice to them. Really be nice, even if they are just. I find it rare to when they're rude to you, but even if they are a little rude, be nice back. Because the next guy who comes on as a supervisor and stuff will see how much of an asshole you were, and if you're really nice, they really will do good things for you. Be nice to them. That's my number 1 advice. Number 2, know what the fuck you're talking about. Now that may sound a little bit self-explanatory, right, if you're going to be calling complaining about it, but don't just say, oh yeah, my internet's too slow. Know why it's slow. Know what they're trying to bone you on. Know everything about your issue, and trust me, some extensive Google searching will do the trick. It really will. You will find out some things that you would have wished you would have known. It is very, very, very easy to find out what the key problems are with your internet service, and it's very easy to, well, not always as easy to figure out, what the main problems are. So make sure what you guys do is you're nice and you find out what's actually wrong. Then talk to some of your friends who may have the same internet providers or people in your area on forums and stuff like that. I really recommend you guys do that and find out if you're the only one or you're of a small group of people, because that may give you an explanation, seeing as your area exactly, or maybe if they're just boning you because, you know, maybe your parents bought your internet, or if you bought your internet and you just didn't know anything about internet at the time, and they just start betting on that you don't know anything about it anymore. Another thing, and it goes back to you knowing what you're talking about, you need to know what you're talking about, because what they're going to do is they're going to start using these terms, right? And they're going to be completely just made up terms and try and fuck with you. I've seen them do it before. They've done it to me before. They'll be throwing around like made up words, and they'll be throwing around like, or things that don't even have to do with each other, like, oh, well, the reason your bandwidth is so bad is because your cable modem is on too much at nighttime or something, for example, which is complete bullshit because it has nothing to do with it. I mean, unless they were on the same power circuit and for some reason you weren't getting enough amps or voltage to your power outlet and it was degrading the quality of your modem or degrading the quality of your router or whatever. So that's, you know what I'm saying? You guys need to know why you're getting the shit bandwidth you are. Another reason you guys could be getting shit bandwidth is if you have your router in one room and you're far away, don't forget that your wireless signal quality really degrades, and it's even worse with 5G, which is better, but you should use, you know, the 5 gigahertz connection for like if you're gaming. So that's one thing, but you don't get as much range, so it's a trade-off. You know, and these are things that you really need to, you know, take into account. Wi-Fi is usually a deal breaker. Back when I didn't know shit about internet, I used to like sit there and complain saying I'm only getting half the speeds, and really what it was is that, I mean, like maybe 5 rooms to my left is where the router was, and you know, and through like how many walls is that, like 1, 2, because there is like a staircase and shit. Anyway, but there's a bunch of plaster walls, so it wasn't gonna reach, and that was definitely the problem. So make sure you guys know that, you know, Wi-Fi is always the worst way to go also. You know, it's nice, convenient, not as messy, but if you can go Ethernet, do it. Avoid Ethernet splitters and avoid as much interference as you can, like splitters, like switches even. Switches can be really good if you start getting business class switches. I actually have one sitting in a box I'm planning on using for something when I upgrade my Twitch streaming and I get more into Twitch streaming. More on that later. But I definitely recommend that you guys, you know, make sure your setup is all on point. Make sure your hardware isn't causing any problems as well. And you know, when you call them, make sure that they can't say, well, your router may be out of date, well, your modem may be out of date. Make sure everything is up to date. Make sure even firmware on routers and stuff. I actually get really complicated. I use custom firmware for my router. I download it. It's very nice. There's lots of things you can do, and I recommend doing it. And so when it comes to calling them, back to that, make sure you're not, you know, rude, like I said, but make sure you know what you're talking about, because what's going to happen is, like I said, they're going to start throwing made up terms and things like that at you, and you're going to be like, what the hell? You know, I don't know what that means. And then they'll start talking. I mean, you might not even know what the difference between a 2.4 gigahertz or bandwidth is compared to a 5 gigahertz connection for Wi-Fi. You may not know what that is. And if you don't, they're going to try and throw words like that around, and you're going to be really confused. Learn about that. Learn how far the Wi-Fi range is on your router. Make sure you don't just buy a router and use it. Make sure you go in there, and maybe you have the cable company set it up and put a password. Make sure you go into there, put it on the channel you want, put the speeds that you want it to be drawing, put all that kind of stuff. Make sure, you know, everything's where you want it to be, so you get the maximum performance you can. That's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, make sure you know what you're talking about and be nice. And never yell at the first guy. Ask for the supervisor, but don't do it immediately. Talk to them, and if you feel like they don't know what they're talking about, ask them very politely, you know, do you think you could send me to someone who may know a little bit more about this topic, or, you know, can I speak to a supervisor or something like that? That will really help you guys out, I promise you on that. But anyway, guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm thinking about doing a Battlefield 4 related video. If you like these kind of videos, let me know. I can do more, and I can do more about different kind of techie topics, life topics, cars, women, anything. You guys let me know. I actually really enjoy doing these kind of commentaries. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I really enjoy it. So anyway, guys, remember to have class and get that ass. The Fly Young Gentleman, out.